On this week's episode of The Early Crow, a very special big boy guest, James McDonald, joined Tom and I. We just talked about everything: his life, his journey, his spring, his next adventure to Hong Kong, and everything else in between. Looked at the World Cup, talked about the Swans' latest recruits, 2 draftees last night. A little bit about our man Royce's cricket on the weekend. Didn't really see a lot of it, but we heard a lot about it. And a little look forward to what's going to happen this weekend. It was a great show. We really, really hope that you enjoyed as much as we did. Here it is.
Sponsored by ORTC Custom. Best quality merch I've had. Go and get yours now from the links in our bios on Twitter and Instagram. They handle everything from design to warehousing and shipping. At Custom by ORTC on Instagram or email customer@ortc.com.au. Elite hoodies.
James McDonald, welcome to The Early Crow. Very, very grateful for you to take some time and sit down with Tom and I, 2 professional sports people and 1 part-timer. We're going to look back a little bit at your life and just see where we go with this conversation. There's no definitive direction we're going to take, but thank you for joining us.
Mate. Good to be on the show. Thanks for having me, boys.
How's the body coping after a massive spring carnival? A bit of travel too, a lot of Melbourne work.
Yeah, it's been going really well, actually. This year I did, last year as well, I did a little bit differently. I instead of going backwards and forth to Sydney, I made a decision just to base myself down there for 5 weeks, and I think it was really good. Even though there was a few big winners, but overall we had a bloody good time, and it was just I think it was big help by just not travelling up and down all the time and trying to put I was riding pretty light in the Caulfield Cup, the lightest I've ever been anyway. So that was half the decision why I stayed down. But it was really, really good actually. The carnival was great. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, it was a little bit of luck throughout the carny as well.
I remember that post race Caulfield Cup. Geez, you looked flat. It didn't sort of live up to the work you'd put in, did it?
Yeah, no, it was actually really disappointing. It's probably the hardest thing, as a jockey is if you set a target to ride below your minimum all the time, it takes several weeks to work that 54 out for me anyway, and for a horse to go so terrible, that's probably the most deflating thing. If it had 56, you just move on to the next one, but yeah, when they're 54, you stew on and go, why did I do that? But anyway, you got to be in to win, and it is a Caulfield Cup, so you bust your ball a little bit more.
Tommy, you love the travel with your job.
Yeah, well, it's a bit sort of, I suppose, a bit different because J-Mac's probably travelling on his own. I suppose they're at the jockey room and the jockey, you're not travelling with the team. So with the hubs and all that stuff, it was fantastic. We were all as a team, 40 of us travelling together. Obviously, when there's last year, there was just the 23 of us, and it's great going away. We stay at the Como in Melbourne on Chapel Street, walk down there in the morning, coffees and things like that. So it's a really good way to get away, and I think that's probably how you create the friendships, the relationships, not only with your players but with your staff and things like that as well. That's what I noticed from the hub, because we were living together for 2 years. Now I've got great relationships that I would have never had before with the staff that help out the team managers every day, the IT ladies and things like that you would never make really close relationships with. That's what I found really good about the hub, and then also travelling away just week to week.
You know what, Dicko? It's a bit easier when you can sip on 2 beers at the bloody lounge in business class when I'm just living on fresh air.
Well,
that's the difference between travelling.
The thing that's quite interesting about you mentioning business class is our man, despite being one of the shorter Swans players, but it's obviously got something to do with pay packet. He travels of the 6 seats in first class. He jags one of them.
Oh, he's the best, isn't he?
You got to pull rank somewhere, don't you?
Well, he's a rorter. We weren't going to get to golf straight away, but it's just come into my head. We were talking about golf before we started, and the way Tom operates on a golf course is kind of like Chris Waller setting one up for a big handicap. A great score. I follow him on the Golf Australia app, few of my mates, and you see when they have a game.
Yeah.
He never puts in the 36, 38, 40 pointer just to look after that handicap, so he's ready to go.
I reckon he'd carry 2 balls in his pocket too, in case one goes to the bush. Got it.
You blokes are not bad, are you? Oh, geez.
No, it was good. The golf
that's
goes
good.
well, doesn't it? What are you playing off, Paps?
About 14 at the moment, so
Yeah,
Dicko,
yeah, 8. We
yeah.
all put it out a bit, don't we?
Oh,
What are you
Dicko-
off, J-Mac?
16.
yeah, nice.
16.
Yeah. I actually
That's-
played a bit down in Melbourne, actually. I was, had a little bit of time on our hands, but the
Where'd
first
you
time I
play?
actually consistently got out like once or twice a week. Went down the Nationals a few times. Beautiful
Yeah.
down there.
Oh, it's
Oh,
unreal down there.
Oh, it's some course, It's just a ripping place. And played the Dunes as well.
Dunes is, I
And-
reckon Dunes is the best public course
Public.
in Australia almost.
I thought it was unbelievable. Yeah.
It's like a real journey, and then when you finish or before you start, you can have 2 or 3 pots. It's just the perfect place to have a beer with a couple of mates.
It was ripping spot. Yeah, so no, it was good. Good to get down there. Play a bit, bit of golf.
Have you played golf with Ollie?
No, I haven't. He's a dead-eyed dick in those. He's just very good, eh?
Yeah, he's
I'd
off
say
he's off 7 or 8.
Is he? Jeez.
He doesn't hit it far, but he's just consistently
Crafty.
straight. Yeah, his
Big,
short
like,
game. They
big,
said
big 7-wood like operator. You know what I mean? Like just loves getting one off the fairway.
doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it goes in the hole. No,
Yeah.
just get it in the hole.
Well, how many times would you be able to play a week normally, J-Mac? Like, obviously,
Nah.
if like once, if that.
Yeah, maybe a Monday is probably the only days where we can actually just relax a little
but
bit
see-
because Tuesdays we're basically wasting today for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday races, and then Thursday you just feel like laying low. All these trials on, and then Friday we're getting ready for Saturday. So there's not much time.
James. Tom doesn't understand. So
I know his whole life's on holiday.
yeah, that's right. See, nothing gave me more purpose and focus in my life, but at the same time, an extreme amount of responsibility than fatherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
When you've got a kid at home and you go, you know what, babe, I'm just going to go and play 18. I might have 2 beers. Like, you can't do that all the time. Whereas Tom just floats.
I know.
He's just the king of Sydney.
I know.
Oh, I'm still young, boys. I'm 20. How old am I? 27. So I'm
Jumps
still
in
young.
the Ferrari, goes to Bonnie Doon. What a life.
Yeah.
Says you that looks over the Harbour Bridge living in Vaucluse.
Put him away, boys. Put him away. So, J-Mac moved to Australia in 2011. First winner, big winner, Queensland Oaks Scar Lady, Group 1. How was that?
Yeah, ripping result. Obviously, dipping the toe over here, and it was the first time. Actually, a really good Aussie. Oh well, he's a big owner, Max Whitby. He's a bit of a larrikin in our game, and he gave me entrusted me with the ride on that beautiful filly. She was a cracking mare, and I filly at that time, but she should have almost run in the Derby as well that year, and I reckon she would have won both the Oaks and Derby, but they put her away, and as the old story goes, she didn't really live up to great expectations after that because she was favourite for a Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup, but yeah, she just lost her way a little bit, but she was a fantastic little filly, and I was pretty lucky to get on her at that point in time in my career because it was just, everyone needs that open door sort of moment, and she was probably one where catapulted, sped things up, so to speak.
I think that's lost on the public. So the punter, the casual punter, just looks at jockeys and trainers as just like bits of information in a form guide. But you are a self-employed businessman who makes decisions and bets on yourself with your career. And like when Tom gets drafted to Sydney that he's not from, that's a massive thing. But he goes into an institution that like knows how to cuddle and support and set up these young men to succeed in life. I'd imagine it was a bit different for you going, you know what, I'm going to go to Australia and I'm going to take this on. It must have been a bit of a challenge. What was it like?
Yeah, it was a huge challenge, and probably, it was a massive challenge because I actually got quite homesick to start with. So I actually went back to New Zealand for another year after that. But we talk about, obviously, a football player going into a group environment and getting looked after and that kind of stuff. I suppose a trainer is probably the closest we'll get to being in that sort of team environment. And
Which to be honest, when I'm on the other side of the fence still a little bit, but that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's true. But John O'Shea was the one that actually took me under his wing, and so he was the one that when all the big boys went to Melbourne for a spring carnival, he got me over, and this was after I was quite homesick for a year. So and then I ended up staying after that, but I needed like that person to obviously take me under his wing and coach me through the whole whole scenario. And well, we all know Sydney's a big place, and it's bright lights, and you can get quite lost here, to be fair. But especially at the age of 18 or 17 when it was. But yeah, it was. You need support. It's simple as that, especially as a young fella, trying to learn your craft.
Yeah.
It's exactly. Well, for instance, for us, for these draftees that got drafted last night, they're coming into. They'll live with 2 other young kids, and they'll have Brett Kirk and they're looking after him. He's our welfare manager. He'll look after everything from what they need with sorting out their food, their Wi-Fi, everything. And then it's pretty much, then you learn from yourself and learn from the other older guys in the house. But then anything that you need, it's done for you. Like if you need help with whatever it is, Brett Kirk's there, or the other welfare manager is there to help you. It's amazing how much work goes into it. And
don't sell yourself short though. Like Paps, so we're pregnant with our third, and it's been really tough. And Paps came down and gave us a hand for a week, and like cooks, cleans, knows how to do everything. He's not like. They're not like little princes that don't know how to operate in the real world, but they're definitely cuddled and taught how to like take their time to be comfortable to become a man.
I am 27 though. About 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't have done it.
No one would have. Exactly. You do need it. That's for sure, especially the young fella. Far out.
Was the setup in Melbourne, was that inspired by having a family now and just trying to have a bit more comfort? I'd imagine I would find it so hard being away from home consistently, and I would, if I were in your shoes, I could see the big upside in setting up and just seeing my kid in the morning before I go and when I get home.
You're 100% right, Dicko. Like that, it was so hard. Like living out of I suppose when you're single and that kind of stuff, living out of a hotel is fine, but when you're 5 weeks down there and you got your family coming and going the whole time, you need some sort of base, especially with a 1-year-old who's into everything now. So that was definitely
walking.
Yep, walking.
Oh God!
Yeah,
hang on, brother.
Yeah, I know.
it's like a little yearling getting off a leash.
Just nothing keeps her occupied. She's always on the go. But I tell you, I know every nursery rhyme song on TV. The Wiggles, far out.
Is that what they're into?
I reckon I could dance as good as the Wiggles too. It's about my capabilities.
Wouldn't be tough.
No. But yeah, going back to your question, that was definitely the base. But I just felt like I just wanted to be down there for 5 weeks, especially with those bigger races. And we had good horses to aim up at as well. So there was no real reason to pop back. The only reason you pop back is to try and accumulate some wins for the premiership. I thought we'll just try something a little bit different this year.
That's one thing I've always wondered. How important to you is a premiership?
Yeah, very important. We always set out to win it because if you're riding winners, it's a confidence thing too. It's like anything, I suppose, isn't it?
Momentum.
Like it just keeps the ball rolling. You keep energized. You wake up on a Sunday morning, you're like, well, I just rode a treble beauty. Next roll onto the Wednesday, and you got your tail up, and there's nothing like stopping and starting. Like if you have an injury or a suspension, it's hard work trying to build some momentum again. So. If you set out to ride as many winners as possible, and then if you're riding winners, you get those little opportunities that you probably wouldn't have if you don't soldier through 7 days a week, 24/7. So if an owner from interstate was ringing or something like that, generally they start at the top of the table, don't they?
I notice it with our horses, like the trainers. When we're not sure who we're going to use on a horse, they'll be like zero data. They'll be like, oh, he's ridden a few winners lately. He's in form.
Yeah, bloody oath. Have I ridden one for you, Dicko?
No, we tried to get you on Just Folk and the Gong, and I would have done the same thing. You're riding Osipenko.
Oh well, good luck.
You will though. You were supposed to ride Until Valhalla today, but we went for the
big fish.
And paid the price.
It actually goes right, that schnitzel. It's schnitzel, isn't he?
Yeah, well, we're just going to jump all over shop, like I said, but didn't buy it off your brother, but your brother's been a bit of a support rock for me at the yearling sales because I can't stand him, to be honest.
Does he charge commission?
He wants to. But that horse was actually Jerry's, sold by a vinery.
Oh, really?
Because I think Jerry owns Bliss Larry, the mum. So,
excellent.
what's the relationship like with your brother? He's
Unbelievable.
what's his job title for anyone listening at home? But for me, he's like the man who's the face of and the person to talk to, the point of contact for Barrymore Stud, which is Jerry Harvey's breeding operation.
Yeah, Lukey, he just runs basically everything. So from matings to yearling preparations to the racing team, he's basically got to have a handle on it, the whole shebang. And he's pretty busy with, obviously, I reckon Jerry he's probably bigger than Godolphin, to be fair, in terms of numbers. He's just huge. And so it's a huge role. Obviously, he does terrifically well. He works extremely hard. So, but yeah, like you said, point of contact. That's him. From any foals, yearlings, mares, racehorses, go through him. Yeah.
On family, you must be like so proud of Caitlin. Like the journey she's taken from an outsider looking in. She gone from a novice to like a seasoned operator and proper talent on TV, and like in her own little sphere, to be honest, as far as talent goes on TV, because there's no one who has the racing pedigree that she has, the ability to handle the camera and the relationships with people in the industry. I think her journey's been
She's taken some work.
Quite
Dicko.
quick.
I've molded her very, very well. She's done really well. She loves it, so she lives and breathes racing. Obviously, mate, it's so important to have someone like, especially with if you're married to a jockey, you'll be one of the worst, like we're in and out all day, 4 o'clock starts sometimes, races, and then now with overseas trips, it's just a relentless job. So, and she loves it. She follows it like no tomorrow, and it shows on TV, or if people are passionate about something and they love it, well, it's easy to talk about, and it just runs off the tongue, so to speak, pretty well. So, but she's had really good mentoring. Like obviously, the team at Channel 7 there, Emma, Richo, Bruce McAvaney, like that, they just love helping people, and I think that's where she's been obviously rewarded in terms of she just gets all the help she can get, and
something, Paps? I did a carnival working for Channel 7 back in the day, which I never would have told you about.
Really? How did that go?
Obviously, you didn't learn much.
No, I did the replays, right? And I'd like do the chopper shot, and I'd highlight like, well, here's J Mac at the 800, and this is what he did. That was when they started doing that, right? I was complete nobody, and at the end of the day, Bruce McAvaney came up and said, "Jack, you're outstanding today, thank you," and walked off. Like it made a huge impact on me.
Yeah, it does.
Like he would be the best. Yeah. Like I wasn't invested in that career, but if you were, like she is, to have a man of his like quality mentoring you and just little taps on the shoulder of support would be so enormous.
100%, and that goes to even they pick up the phone after a race meeting and ring her up and just say, well, it was either a good job or I reckon you could have done this better. Like I did that 3 weeks where I got injured and I tried to do the TV thing, and look, it's not very good at it, but like little things, what you say throughout the day, your little habits that I don't even notice. Like I say obviously a lot. Well, to the average bloke, it's not obviously, is it? Like it's not obvious that it's obvious to us, but not to anyone else. So it's just little things like that. It's bizarre.
Imagine Bruce McAvaney sitting on one of our early crow, picking out what we do, Dicko. It'd be pretty gold, wouldn't it?
Just look for some feedback, Bruce.
Looking for feedback.
He's too positive. He's the hardest worker. Like I remember when I was in that thing, he had like these big fat notebooks with just notes on everything. He has like an employee who's just researching.
Unbelievable.
Like, he's relentless in his attack to be good at his job.
It's actually amazing how he just reels off, like, this horse won 19 bloody 85, such and such. It's amazing how he can just reel off the tongue like that. It's incredible.
What's amazing is also how much he's got the sickness. He loves it. Like, imagine going, you know what? I don't want to call the footy 6 months a year. I want to call the
horses,
Like, that's...
He's a freak. He's a freak. And you see why he is a freak. He's works.
Speaking of freaks, Chris Waller. Tell me about Chris. There's obviously a very strong now and healthy and profitable relationship for everyone involved with you and Chris and his team. And I'd like to touch on the captain too, and he just confirm if he is one of the sicker human beings in the Bloodstock game or not. That's what I've heard. The laugh says yes. But Chris Waller, talk to me about Chris.
How long you got?
We've got ages.
No, he's a good bloke. He's look, mate. I don't know how he keeps up with his work. Like we're just talking about Bruce McAvaney. Like you put Chris in that same mould in terms of how they. Like, he'd never miss a day. I just don't know how he gets around like stable reports, training racehorses, just on top of everything. Anything goes through that stable, he'd have his prints on it. There's no stone left unturned. He's just a workaholic, loves it. But most importantly,
he doesn't miss stuff too. Like Jolie Star on Saturday was I don't know if that horse would be that good. It was just the absolute perfect preparation and planning and placement of that horse. Group 1 done, and for the biggest operator, not even in this state, to like nail that. That's the sort of stuff that I noticed from a stable that like, if they wanted you to ride a horse, you'd just be like, yep, sweet.
Yeah, well,
you trust their placement so much.
Yeah, 100% right. But it didn't just happen on Saturday. Like it happens throughout the whole year. Like that's just one example. Like Riff Rocket's another one. Comes through a benchmark 68 at Rosehill, gets beat by Snowman, and then comes out and does it time and time again. And that's why he's obviously very, very good. But that's what I was going to touch on. Like he's just got a vision that I've never seen another one. Like he can identify a horse. It might not get there straight away, but it will get there eventually. You just don't know when it's going to pop up. And that's the biggest thing. It's like these 2-year-olds. Like Jolie Star trialled back in March, might have been April, and she was just going through the motions. He put her away, brought her back. She was okay, and then started just building her up. And he does it with, like example, Riff Rocket again, a tissue. Like just hits the grand final targets every time. And there's not many he misses out on, So to be a part of it, it's great fun, and obviously he's got a lot of horses, which helps, So, but he's still got to have the finger on his pulse. Nothing gets left.
Oh, the tissue setup. The tissue setup's exactly that. That came off that brutal tempo, and backed up within a week, and it was a brave call to go against the boys because there was softer options for her, and it just it peaked off a setup that a horse could go backwards from.
Yeah.
The market was fascinating. It went out to $14 Betfair before it jumped, and then it crunched back in. What a horse the tissue is.
He's Chris is a very patterns man. Like this time last year, everything's just copy paste, and he's got the horses to do it. But he's such a horse. Like you can look at.
I think there's two reasons for that, James. Like it suits him because it works. Like, why you don't change it if it ain't broke.
Exactly.
But also, like you said, he's so big. Why complicate it?
Yeah.
Like, keep it simple.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, like the fascinating thing, we said he doesn't train 2-year-olds and this and that, and I haven't sat on one. Oh, well, I'll probably tell a lie. I have sat on one 2-year-old this year, which is we're getting close to Christmas. A lot of trainers are stepping their 2-year-olds out already. They all had trials, some of them, So he hasn't. I think he's had one runner as a 2-year-old trainer, which he hasn't panicked. Like when people start drilling someone about something, people start to change things, but he doesn't. He just keeps on rolling. But he's got a lot of 2-year-olds, which I'm sure from Christmas onwards they'll start stepping out. But yeah, I don't know. I get bamboozled every time because I'll be taking a ride and I'm going, this can't win. It's and then it'll come up and sail up. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he's just very, very good.
Speaking of 2-year-old trials, J-Mac, you trialled one for O'Shea, Get a Fix, that me and the boys are in.
I knew that was popping up. It didn't take long. How many minutes are we going? 24 minutes.
I would not be publicising what this is. I'll be keeping this to myself.
Oh, that's all right. We don't have to talk about it.
A few of your mates are in it, aren't they? I was actually down in Melbourne, and I had a beer with one of your mates, and they said they were in it as well. So it must be a good group. It must be back in work by now too. But
yeah, it's back in in Randwick this week, I think. So
Dicko, I've never gone to the jump outs at Randwick.
You'll love this.
And there was a video circulating not 2 minutes after this horse has jumped out Like, it's a dead set 2-year-old. Who gives a shit? Like, it's going to be up at the trials anyway. Anyway, not 30 seconds after the trials, I hopped off this horse. Who's ringing me? Paps. Mate, who cares about your 2-year-old? It's just had a jump out, mate. It's at preschool.
Mate,
Yeah, they want the answers. They just want the answers that you can't give.
Oh,
I've had that many slow ones. I need a fast one, so I'm just.
he
I've got
is a ripper.
I've got Toey, so.
Yeah, he is a nice horse, and he's in the right hands. I think you did the right thing by turning him out, so he'll be right.
Speaking of Chris handling like the hype and narrative around not having 2-year-olds and just not letting it impact his mantra, how do you both? The question for both of you, I guess, handle feedback, social media, and more so the trolls, the negative stuff?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I can only speak for myself. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, I just basically don't even really. I just ignore it. Really, I don't really care as long as honestly, hand on heart. If I'm doing my best out there, that's all I can do. I can't control anyone at what they think of me or what they think of my riding or how I approach things. I don't really bother. But it's a results-driven industry, and as long as you're riding winners, you're going all right because that's all we're set out to do. And yeah, but it comes with the territory. You got to take the good with the bad, and if you get pumped up and put on a pedestal all the time, well, then you got to get knocked back down a little bit. You know, like it's
you can't be successful in this country without getting abused.
No,
it's the price you pay. Don't you reckon, Paps? How do you handle it?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I think I don't know. If it can be hard. It can be actually hard to. You're obviously going to see it because the media is so big these days. Sometimes it's I actually like. Oh yeah.
You embrace it. You
embrace it, and sometimes
you did that gentle nudge to Knackers in the prelim and just sort of said, "You've overcommitted to the ball flight here, mate, and I haven't. Even though you're taller than me, my brain's a lot quicker than yours, and I'm going to take this market win." You then like sort of flared that right up in the grand final parade. I remember that.
Yeah, it backfired a bit though, didn't it? Yeah, but sometimes I don't know. It's hard to escape it, like I said, but sometimes you can use it as fuel, and I'll prove you wrong and things like that. So it's always nice. I don't know if they're talking about you in the media, and then next week you come out and have a really good game. So, but yeah, I try to ignore it as well. But at the same time, it's hard to ignore it when there's so much out there these days.
I love it. I'm smaller, obviously, but on social media, I try and trigger them. I try and bait them. Like the trolls is literally fuel to perform at my best to not let them win.
Yeah, I agree.
It motivates you to turn up and tick every box again.
When someone bags a horse and you've got a strong passion about that particular horse, or if you think it's going to win, and someone bags it, well, you're just like, I'm gonna win this. Yeah. In the interview, I'm gonna bomb you too, but I don't. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny thing, but yeah, like it just comes with the territory. You just got to take the good with the bad. What are some of your favourite horses you've had like the pleasure of riding and winning on? Well, the one at the moment is obviously Romantic Warrior. It's well documented. I've got a pretty soft spot for him, and yeah, we had plenty to do with him leading into the Cox Plate, and obviously there was his daggers out for that, and that was probably one race that meant so much. We talk about the negative criticism from a point of view, and you go, well, I just want to prove this. I want this horse to win, and you do everything you possibly can, and when it does come off, well, it was only by a nose, but it's so rewarding, and that's where one interview where I wanted to start bombing people, but I don't know how you do it. If I were you, I would have said, do you realise that if anyone else rode that horse, it doesn't lob the 1-1, it lobs the 3-1, and we'd probably get beat half of the neck. Does anyone realise that? But he's probably one of the better horses at the moment, I suppose. And looking forward to riding him in 3 weeks' time in the Cup as well. But probably Animo. Animo was just a ripping horse. Animo's my favourite ever horse. Yeah, I think Animo should be in the conversation with every Winks, Mackay Diva, because he dominated before Christmas as a 2-year-old, and then did what you did with him as a stallion. I don't know another horse. I'm younger in this industry than a lot of people, but I don't know of a horse that was like he probably should have won the Blue Diamond. He probably should have won the Golden Slipper, and then Golden Rose. He got robbed of a Cox Plate in my opinion. Randwick Guineas. Yeah, it's incredible. He won. The superstar horses come at like a stage, there's a superstar 2-year-old, or they come on as a 4-year-old, 3-year-old mare, and that's their lot in life. He was a complete package. And the other thing with Dicko is like everyone says, oh, I hate the whole conversation. Oh, what is he beating? He's doing nothing. What is Winks beat? He does nothing. All you can do is
Beat.
Yes.
play your cards. Like, play the field in front of you. Like, if they don't want to turn up and race against you, well, then that's fine. But you can only beat
it's-
what's in front of you.
It's non-betting narrative stuff that does my head in the industry, where like, well, my ratings, its margin was this and the price money, and if you tie that through this horse and it equals this, like, shut up. What is it? What price is it, and can I bet on it? Basically, that's all that matters. And he whatever was put in front of him, he beat. It's kind of like why I'm essentially, if you want to go on the non-betting narrative line, I'm the third or second ranked ping pong player at the Sydney Swans, even though I don't play for him, because I played Paps once and I beat him.
Is that true, Paps?
Yeah, well,
No good at ping pong.
No, well,
Can't
his
be good at
table,
everything.
his table is very, very. It's a real nice one, and it's just not wasn't on up to. I'm used to bit less bounce, and you can whack it a bit. Where this one's really technical. That's what I'm putting it down to anyway.
I hadn't played in 4 years either.
And we played golf the next day, and he beat me in that. But he was actually sore from ping pong. Which
It's embarrassing, James.
Played-
How do you get sore from ping pong?
Because
I know.
my exercise this year, for the whole year, I've done a few sit-ups, a bit of stretching, and I went for a swim last week. So like my right shoulder was like actually in agony from playing ping pong for 45 minutes. Didn't stop me. I beat him at golf the next day.
Another thing on Animo, is it true that you wore the same socks every time you rode Animo?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Same socks. That's actually quite embarrassing, to be honest. Yeah, I just
I won't name names, so I got that off either.
really. Yeah, I bought these pair of socks 2 years ago, and the first day I wore them was when Animo won. I don't know if it was his first group one. It might have been the second I won on him anyway. Yeah, it might have been. And then so I just saved those pair of socks for Animo's days. Which, look, I still got beat on them, like, well, not very often, but it did get beat on them when I was wearing them. But yeah, I'm sort of superstitious a little bit like that as well. It's a weird thing. I don't know if you've got any. Have you got superstitions?
Not really. I sort of do the same. Like, I don't know if it's routine or superstition. Do the same.
Yeah, maybe routine.
Yeah, same thing every time before a game. But
avoid the warm up. Get a rub.
go for a few snaps.
Yeah. No, it was good. Yeah. So we were lucky. We've retired those socks. They're in a big frame now with the colours.
And another superstition you've got is you don't like these. You don't. If the horse is still racing, you can't have a photo up of it.
Yeah. That's a big one. I don't know where.
That's early crowing. That's early crowing.
Yeah. So as soon as someone either gives me a picture or we order a painting or something, it has to stay on the floor until the horse is retired. But
that's fair enough.
We've got Nature Strip hung up now, so he's Animo's hung up, which is it's kind of cool. I suppose when you get a little bit older, when you're younger, and I suppose, but I've started collecting a little bit of like stuff like Animo's silks. So I've ended up just getting a replica of the Cox plate and just like I'll do it with romantic as well, just like little things, because when you actually start getting deeper in your career, I suppose, but you look back and go, wow, that'll be quite cool in 25 years,
Yeah, exactly. So for sure.
Yeah, but they got to stay on the floor.
What was your favourite win on Animo? Was it the Caulfield Stakes? Was it? That was there was a Caulfield race where he was fucking gone.
Gone at the bend.
And oh my god!
I was in Europe watching that. I was on the ferry back from somewhere, and me and Paddy there were like, "No, he's gone, it's gone." And then somehow it come off a canvas. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one. I reckon that was the most toughest one, but the one I had the most fun on was in the size produce. I reckon that helicopter shot. You'd love that one. I reckon I've never seen a horse like accelerate like he did that day, but he was a ripper, eh? He was such a good horse.
Do you get like an extra little piece of like happiness out of the peaches that you gave him, like in Cox plates, like the peach you gave Romantic Warrior? Does it like add to it on top of just the win? Like, fuck, I nailed that.
not particularly. No, it was I think in those moments you just want to get the job done and basically tick on, move on, tick it off, move on, and but like that day was so special because there wasn't. I don't know if you were there that day, but
I was.
There wasn't a bloke or man or woman in that grandstand that wasn't cheering for Animo, and it was dead set. Like they were just in awe of this horse, and yes, there was added pressure with it, but just more of a relief. He was going for his second attempt at the Gox Play. He should have probably arguably won it the year before. So yeah, it was
Should have, I think.
But he's just you know what made him so good is he was just so easy to ride, and that's probably what I'll take away from riding Animo. He was just push button. Especially
I think that's the
career.
benefit for me as a novice, like compared to you, and sticking with a rider with a good horse has good value. Like you were able to build a relationship, and then that second and third preparation, he added tactical versatility to his arsenal, which was key to him winning a few more Group 1s, I thought.
Yeah, 100%. Once you have an association with him, I suppose it's a bit of confidence when you get legged on. You go, instead of coming back one spot to get him to travel, you go, well, I need to be a link closer, and you're going to have to do it for me, brother. Be there for me. So you have that confidence, and you ride them accordingly, I suppose, once you start get a bit of confidence about them.
Because every track in Australia has a pattern, right? And a bias. So let's move to that. What are you doing form wise to so this is race day.
Yep.
What's your process to understand your horses, main dangers, and track patterns? Like, so something we use, like for example, are you aware that 134 of the last 245 winners settled forward at Warwick Farm in the Rail True? That's tomorrow. Like, are you going that deep?
I wouldn't know that stat off the top of my head, but
will you go to that before a meeting?
As generally, you go, well, we're at Warwick Farm or we're at Canterbury night meetings where it has been playing on pace, and that might be you might calculate that in your decision making of taking a horse that's races back at Canterbury or having first up run at Canterbury and they can't push forward, and so I'll take the one that's probably not so good to try and win this race, but because it can race in the first four, but that happens 2 weeks in advance, but you sort of know where the rail's going to be. Like it's there's a set program where they all, like over the Randwick over the championship, it normally goes from True to 3 to 6. You know that sort of period. It's the same with Flemington. It starts in the True, goes to 2, goes to 6. It's but I suppose this day and age, there's the rail position, but now there's wind comes into it. We just seen it at Flemington.
It was a big factor, wasn't it? Particularly on the Derby day.
First 2 days, you couldn't make ground. The third day, you couldn't lead or couldn't be in the first four on Thursday. And then on the Friday, you couldn't
One of the easiest bets of all time, Zardozi.
Yeah, she was a ripper.
It was impossible for her to win on Saturday, guys. Just back up the truck.
She's good, and I think she could be pretty smart. Yeah.
I had a big go for me. And when you took a little bit of a sit, I was like, "Oh,
shit,
good.
He's fucking
No.
No, that was perfect that day.
We were talking.
We spoke about it, Dicko.
He's feeling good. It means he's happy. He's got this. He loves this horse.
Yeah,
a part of that race is like the jockey's got to believe that this horse is going to get the trip.
It's too good. Yeah, but that's like James Cummings. He's such a good, astute judge of form. Like he has everything covered as well. Like he's a fantastic trainer, and he understands his horses as well. And I suppose when you get legged on them, yes, it's a short price favourite at Oaks, but you have confidence in just riding the horse instead of riding the race. It sometimes can work in your favour, especially if you're on the best one, Yeah. And she was the case of that, but he's that was his plan. James is to ride her a little bit quieter and come with one run at it. It's a long way around that.
Oh yeah, old Marky Mark, the big king down here. He had your back. Thought he was smoking pipe, and all of a sudden, see you, mate.
Yeah, see you, mate.
Dropped him.
He's going good. Has he popped his head up at celebrations out of that Melbourne Cup? Or not?
Are you following him on Instagram?
The same horse.
He's mad.
We've got the same horse potentially run at Cranbourne, and he's not available. So.
Yeah, he's in Dubai now.
Oh mate, he's trying to collect slings probably. Probably trying
to. That's good stuff.
Back to the form process. Talk me through it. So, tomorrow morning, or when are you preparing for tomorrow's meeting form-wise, or do you do any form?
I do it today. So, obviously, we know our rides 2 weeks. All our rides are done basically 2 weeks to 10 days. 2 weeks for a Saturday, 10 days for a Wednesday. So we know what we're riding basically from there. Sort out the weights scenario, if I'm riding light or heavy, whatever. And then obviously the fields come out on the Monday for a Wednesday for a Saturday. So then you just start ripping in. But you know what? Over the period, you get a handle on all the horses. Even in the bigger races, you sort of know what's going to happen before you'd even looked at it. You know, like they're pretty cut and paste. We know the horses pretty well. Racing New South Wales is pretty well documented of what you can and can't do. Like they either say one's going forward, one's going back.
That is the greatest gift of all time to punters.
Yeah, so everyone knows where they're sort of going to be roughly, you know, and then you just work out where you're best placed. But it's we'll have a rip and do my own sort of speed maps, and then work out what we got to do.
What are you using? What are you using to do your form? Like best bets, race net, anything?
No, I just do it myself. I don't really dive into all that sort of, you know, this one ran 33 seconds for the last, you know, I don't dive into that sort of scenario. I just work out I watch the replays of my horse. What do I think its best assets are? What do I think it can and can't do? Or if I've ridden it before, and so I was just a fraction too far back, it needs to be one spot close to be any chart. So it's more just on feel really. And then look, if I was in a decision making sort of scenario, if I've got two horses that are very even, and then I'll ask someone's opinion on that, indulges in that kind of it splits a lot better than this one, you know. That's the only reason. But apart from that, I just go with what I feel's best at the time.
We've had a couple of questions that tie into that a little bit, and I think they're a good question. It's a good question. Is how much interaction or like the decision making of tactics is there between you and stables? I'd imagine there's a bit between you and Chris and you and James. And in my experience, like if Willow or Ollie comes out to ride one for us in Melbourne, it's kind of like, good luck, mate, get home safe. And if Celine Gaudreau comes out to ride one, it's like, okay, I'd like you to try and sit in this spot and travel with this pace, blah, blah, blah. What's it like for you? I'd imagine it's just complete free rein.
No, not all the time. Obviously, the trainers, they all have their own opinion. And sometimes, you as a jockey, I think you like to hear what they've got to say, because it's the 1%ers, You might have missed something, and they pick up on it, or not pick up on it, but it's their opinion, and like, they've been in the game just as long as all of us, and they know what's going to happen too. So I think getting told information's fantastic, and but then again, once the gates open, then you've got to use your own initiatives at times too. But I always ask what the trainers think, because but they're living and breathing it just like we are, and we want the same result. But and that 1% you might miss, or there's a change of tactics, I've missed it and they've heard it. So you want to know that kind of stuff, especially if you're hell bent on going forward and you're half a back marker or something. You want to try your luck. You got to have an open mind, sort of, and listen to James, Waller, because they all have their own form people doing their form, you know. So we've obviously James has got Dominic, who's as good as they come, you know. Yeah.
So it's another way to get a bit of a competitive advantage, really.
It is, and you don't know with the change of tactics, you can't. You're riding, you're trying to do everything. You sometimes you miss something, and so if you do miss something, and James, for example, just goes, mate, there's an important thing here. Like, this horse is going forward now, so we can afford to just take our time a tad, you know, like it just little things like that. Or this horse, we rode it up last time, you haven't ridden it, I want it ridden a touch quieter, or ride for luck, or something like that. It's they're all just different, you know. But I like having that reassurance from the trainer anyway.
Yeah, I think sort of it'd be nice to have like one in all in too, especially when you roll the dice a little bit. Yeah, exactly, and you know whether you're gonna cop a spray or the feeling of someone. Like if you try something and you have confidence in the trainer that they said, "Oh, you can do what you want with this thing, but this is my opinion," or you're willing to try stuff if you're with the right connections, I suppose. Yep.
And I suppose the more experience you have, the more risks you take, don't you, out there? Like it's
Yeah, confidence, isn't it?
yeah. If you're
Well, you've earned the right to make mistakes. And I think when you actually have success, you learn that the only way you have any sort of success in life is by failing a fucking lot.
Yeah, you do, yeah. So you make stuff up a lot of rides, don't worry about that. You just got to learn a bit faster than others, I suppose. It's just so like every race is not going to go perfect, Dicko. You know what I mean? Like
it's chaos.
It's just impossible. Like not every day you're going to ride 3 winners, and not every day you're going to butcher more than you.
And the narrative and the IQ level of people on social media is fucking scary. Like like I was on a radio show, the last ones I did, and they were just giving it to Ollie for not going 100 miles an hour on Alligator Blood at Flemington second up. Like,
you did lead though. So,
he led. Like,
so it's still
what's he supposed to do? Gas the horse to try and win second up, and then went off and won 2 Group 1s or something, didn't it? So
it did, yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Morons.
But there's so many variables out there. You're dealing with not only your brain, but a horse's brain. They got look at a horse. For example, Friday night, I was getting bombed for it. Genetic freak. It's run off the track. It's either got its tongue or it's had a heart fibrillation. Like those things you can't control. But because it was in a great spot and it just capitulated or did something, and then everyone thinks.
You know what my favourite thing about that is? But you need to learn this if you're a punter and don't have an understanding of the sport. You imagine you're riding like a bike and you think the wheel's about to fall off, and just so you don't get abused, you just start pedaling a bit fucking harder and stay right in front of all the bikes behind you that might fall. So like if I was riding that bike, I'd slow down as quick as I could and I'd get out of the way of any oncoming traffic. So that's what James did on Friday night, and because a horse can just drop. And if you're dropping in the 1-1, there's fucking 6 horses about to go over top of you, and then you really are in the lap of whichever god does exist, and just train every one of them.
That's a great analogy.
That is good, yeah.
That's what like a punter goes. I just want to see him like get the most out of it before it stops. But it's a jockey's initiative and touch and feel to go. This ain't not right here, so I'm going to look after the horse. And that's what they say in the report, and that's what they say in the media. I want to look after the horse, but also there's a bit of self-care there. Like I wasn't 100% sure he was sound, and he might have fallen over, so I certainly didn't want it to happen to me.
Yeah, exactly right. Because like there is another race around the corner, and those people or punters or whatever they want to, they're not going to come and visit you in hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to be fair, if they wouldn't be able to get into the ward you're in, probably.
Yeah, but anyway, So it's a you're doomed if you do, and doomed if you don't at times.
What was the motivation to take on Hong Kong and taking the whole family?
Yeah, we're all going up. Leave Saturday night, so that'll be exciting. So the whole scenario behind it was obviously a good opportunity to go up from the club, and then. I was there for 2 weeks anyway, so I'm there for 5. I've come back on the 1st of January. I was there for 2 weeks anyway because the Romantic Warriors getting ready for the international races, and being a week earlier was a good opportunity because now I can pick up basically good rides, pick up more rides, I suppose, good rides, and have a better opportunity of having a better book on that day. And the other thing is, poor old Huey, he had a crash there last Sunday, and so they had to fill a void, I suppose, and then they just asked if I could stay on an extra 2.5 weeks, which over this period, as we know, it's basically just Warwick Bar, Canterbury, and you knock around the same sort of stuff every week. It doesn't really change too much. So this gave us an opportunity just to
sort of stimulate your competitive
try
nature.
something. Try something new, eh?
So, yeah.
And it's good racing up there.
Would you ever see yourself over there permanently for a year or 2 years or whatever?
Yeah, I could definitely see myself there, that's for sure. But I don't know when or where or when it will happen. But I think it will happen in time. But at the moment, mate, I love competing here. We're in a lovely position where we can ride the best horses in the land, and I'm not going to give that up anytime soon.
And also, you can go for a walk on the beach in Sydney with a young family. Like that's what it's all about.
And the fireworks on the Harbour Bridge is very good.
Yeah.
Bit
You don't have to.
loud,
You don't have
close.
to. You don't have to leave your house. It's all right, isn't it?
Have to be a full-on procedure to make sure I doesn't wake her up too.
No, it'll be good. The girls are coming up as well, so that'll be a bit of fun, you know. So
Yeah,
have
nice.
have a little adventure up there for 5 weeks and see what happens. Are you going to come up, mate? International meeting. It's a bloody good day. Good week, actually.
Jeez, I'd love to. What date is the? I think it's smack bang on when we start.
Oh, is that? You're back training.
I think it's on the. It's that fourth weekend.
Yeah,
The second is it? The
Few
second.
stretches. No, it's on the jockey challenge is on the 8th. Oh no, sorry, the 7th, and then the international is on the 10th or 11th. But in that time, I actually shoot back and ride Zaki at Perth, so that'll be cool. He should be hard to beat over there if the track.
If you want to just message
He was
Horse
enormous in
saying,
the Cox play.
if you message
Horse is
Horse for
wide,
saying, do you mind if Paps shoots over to Hong Kong for the weekend? I'll just and see if he allows
I don't
that.
think that. I've got pull, but not that much pull.
Big horse. You got to just use your rorting abilities, Paps. You're going over there to see how elite athletes operate, in different environments. Stuff like that. It's a learning experience for me to become a better footballer and do a better job for you, Horse.
How do you reckon you go this year? Are you going strong?
Yeah, have you changed bandwagons yet or what?
No. I'm on the Swannies.
Yeah, bloody oath, good.
No.
Yeah, we'll be good. We just got obviously Taylor Adams, Brody Grundy. They're probably two of the senior guys that will really help, and then we've got a younger fella, James Jordan, from Melbourne. He actually played in the
Did you draft
premiership.
him last night?
No, he from Melbourne. He played in the premiership for Melbourne as the sub.
Shit.
And then we got Joel Hamling. He's a sort of a senior backline player as well. So we've got four
Is that from Freo?
Freo, yeah. He played in the.
That's good stock. That's what we need.
Yeah,
Good
he's
strength down there.
He
Girthy,
played in the,
man. He's girthy.
Yeah, he played in the premiership for Bulldogs in 2016. Beat us,
Let's
which
not
is
talk about that.
yeah. We'll move on to that
Robbed.
quick. But yeah, we'll be good. It's obviously having Brody Grundy as a main ruck that's a good ruck will help us a lot because we haven't no offense to Tom Hickey, but Brody Grundy's obviously one of the best ruckmen in the league and he'll really help us. So looking forward to it. It's going to be very different though. We've got some big alphas sort of out of the team. Obviously, Buddy's gone.
Yeah, who replaces the great man?
We've got a couple of young fellas coming in. Obviously, you
Really?
can't replace him.
No,
you can't
you
really.
can't, no.
You can't replace him.
Most importantly, there's the inner political movering just to try and get that extra seat now in first class that Buddy's left alone for the players as they go to Perth and back. That's where it's at.
It'll be good. It'll be like Logan McDonald's young, Joel Amadi, Hayden McLean. It's going to be a very different look forward line, but yeah, it's exciting.
That's what you need. You need a little bit of change, eh?
Yeah, bloody oath. And we've got
some new blood.
Yeah, all these. It's funny. All our bloody better players now are 22, 23. Errol Goulden's 20. He won our BNF. Lizard comes second. He's 22. So it's exciting.
Brucey's a superstar in the making.
Yeah, we call Logan McDonald, who's our number 6. He plays centre forward. Bruce after Bruce McAvan. He knows everything about every single sport. NFL, golf, horses, everything. And he'll just
really.
Oh, yeah, it's so gold. He'll name bloody. We had this quiz. We had this quiz in a hub. Anyway, it was like some Melbourne Cup, I don't even know. I don't even know the year. And Bruce has just gone up and bang straight away. We're like, are you right, mate? What the hell is gold? And then any sport question, bang. He was just unbelievable. And from the hub, he just got it. It was gold.
Yeah. What sports do you love, J-Mac? Rugby union?
Not really. No, mate, that World Cup was disgraceful. I thought it was embarrassing to watch. The ref was terrible, and it was just a bad spectacle. But you know what? I've got into AFL. Caitlin loves it. She's mad Essendon supporter, mad. And
jeez, that's been rough. So that's real loyalty. Like people that are still sticking with the Bombers, they must love Bombers.
Oh, they do. It's sickening. Anyway, so now we've got into that a fair bit, and you know what? I actually really enjoyed going to the games. Like it, even better than watching it on TV. I thought watching AFL live is unreal.
Yeah. I'm from Sydney, like rugby league town. Rugby league's a TV sport.
Yeah.
AFL is an in-venue sport. 'Cause
Yeah, I agree with that.
you can see the patterns and like the little intricacies, the things that Paps is doing with it, like with Logan McDonald to get free and things like that, and the shapes they run, and there's definitely value watching an AFL game at the ground. I agree.
Yeah, and then I do like the Roosters as well. Obviously, that was the main team I supported when I first came over. But so those two. But golf, any sport, I really enjoy watching. So it doesn't.
You're going to get to the Live Adelaide event. They're doing that again, and there's also there's a couple
The
of
Oz-
events coming up now.
Well, he can't because he will be away for the Oz Open.
I see
but
that.
the Oz
They're
Open,
getting ready there now.
yeah, at the Australian.
Yeah, I can see that.
A few of us boys are going there. It'll be nice to watch. I've
You
actually,
on the Pro-Am, are you?
no, I wish, bloody Errol Goulden, bloody was going, and then he's got training. He because he starts a week earlier because he's younger, and then Jake Lloyd's got the slot, which I was fuming about.
Really?
How does Errol Goulden have to start before everyone else?
I know it's
I'd
extraordinary.
be throwing up.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? That's what I think he actually said, mate, like, can I please go and play? Like, it's a Wednesday as well, the Pro-Am, and like Wednesdays are not much, and our guys very firm and really standard said, no, mate, you got training.
Oh, really?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Just paid them off. What'd you do off your pre-season? When you went away on holiday, where'd you go?
Yeah, I went to Italy and it was good. Went for 3 weeks.
Tough, top, okay?
I know. Like he's sending me all these videos and pictures. Like
Positano,
it's
back.
It's like 3 a.m. I'm changing a wet bed and a dirty nappy, and there's Paps in like a little party shirt, ripping and tearing.
No, it was
unbelievable.
Good. It was good. Yeah, me and my partner Addy went over with a mate and stuff, so it was good. And we're back for the BNF. It was, and then I missed out on the boys trip because the boys went after the BNF. I couldn't really go twice. I think wouldn't have been the best thing for me if I went over to Europe for eight
You didn't want
weeks.
to try your luck?
Oh.
He went to Barnbugle.
I thought you had balls about you.
No, I would have been fine with the missus. I think Horse would have been flying over to Europe and pulling me out of there.
Yeah, fair enough.
He went to Barnbugle. That would
Yeah, been to Barnbugle. Have you been down there?
I know. I did see footage of you there actually.
Yeah, you got to get down there. It's unreal.
Is that?
Yeah, unreal. It's just there. You got to get some nice weather, but even if you don't, it's still just unbelievable. It's good.
Really? Sure.
Yeah, it's rated one of the. What's it rated second in Australia for public course or something?
Sort of floats between in the top 5. It's like a better version of the Dunes. And there's 2 of them.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah. And it's just like a pub. You're flying on a light plane, or you have to drive there. You can't. There's nothing to distract you from golf and having beers with your mates. There's nothing else there. It's really well done. It's a great place.
It's good, yeah.
You know how you asked about the bloodstock agent from the Stars, old Captain? How do you know old him?
Well, I went through.
He sold your horse. He stung you for commission.
He's tried to do that, but I went through about eight years of like results from sales and who bought what and what they've done, and he's good at it.
Yeah,
he spends a lot of money, but he's very good at it. Now, some of them operate on budgets and like overachieve. A lot of them underachieve, but he's an overachiever. So I asked him for a few lists and just sort of started to talk to him a little bit.
Oh, really?
Could just
He's
tell
a character, eh?
Yeah, a good value by the sound of him, and sort of the person I need to avoid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I go from 0 to 100 sort of thing.
Oh,
Overrated very quick.
Yeah.
Get excited.
Yeah. If I was a jockey, I'd be known to also take off. You know?
the Mark Zaras.
So I say, like when someone rides Keats, I say the 200 metre mark is the winning post.
You're overrated.
That's how I operate when I go out.
Oh, good. Oh, well.
Do you have any like ambition in bloodstock? And have you dipped the toe in anything? I think I might have heard you did some breeding once.
Yeah, well, the family does anyway. So we've bred a couple over our time, I suppose. But yeah, it's a hard old game. You know what? I really enjoy it, and I reckon it's something that I definitely dip my toe in once I finish riding. But yeah, it's good fun to watch them from foals to yearlings to go onto the racetrack. And well, actually, Mum actually had a runner in the Melbourne Cup this year. It went hopelessly bad, but still to get one in the cup is hard enough, you know. So that mare's been particularly good for the family, and she's always left a cracking sore. So she's actually
who was that runner
by? Al Manzoor. So she's actually gone to Animo. So we sent her. Yeah.
Ooh.
So that'll be quite cool to get her
cool.
over the line. Yeah.
One of the best value stallions I've been researching is Redwood.
Yeah, it goes well, doesn't he?
Like, massively overachieves versus what they pay and what he costs.
Yeah, and they always seem good sorts. Like that's the High Chaparral line probably coming out of them,
Yeah.
you know. Like they're all glamours. And actually, I think I won on Friday night. One for Luke, actually, Jerry Harvey. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, he's actually a nice horse too. So, yeah, they definitely overachieve for sure, especially over there. I reckon another one. Well, Centoni and Ladin, they're going all right at the moment, and the same way obviously Price here. But the Kiwi breeds do pretty well. I think the Radio Run's on now. You should have been over there.
Well, I bought 2 from there last year and almost had to sell my house. So, I ended up surviving. I'm having a look. I think is it tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it starts tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah, I've had a little look. I'm doing a sickening amount of research on the numbers behind stallions and farms, and
Really?
so far it's spitting out the complete opposite to what the market says, which is interesting.
Really? Wow.
So a lot of the time when you deep dive data in horse racing, you kind of end up finding the pointy end. You know, like there's not a lot of juice there, but this is looking quite juicy. So we've a lot more work to do.
I tell you, a meeting you should put on your little bucket list is that Crack of Millions in January, end of January, mate. That's a fantastic. And then the sales start the next day. It's quite a good, really good meeting. It starts at like 5 o'clock. Ends. It's a twilight meeting. So it's really good fun.
It's early days, but I'd bet on it that the Caracas sale is the best value sale in Australasia. I think it overachieves for what you pay for them.
Over in Cracker?
Yeah.
It overachieves.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I've got to do a bit more work, but that's where it's looking like it's going to head.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Interesting.
Anything else we should go over, boys, or should we wrap it up?
It's been pretty good, I reckon. It's
Pretty good.
been unreal.
For 2 guys who don't have a clue what they're doing, I think we've done a great job with
You've
the
done well,
superstar
because
guest.
I've-
I'm really happy with what we've done this
Yeah,
morning.
you've done unreal. I've actually quite happy to listen to you and you two go about it. It's been good.
My takeaways are
Breeding bucks.
I can't wait to play golf at Boyne with you two Rauders, probably off about 17 and 18 at that point in time.
Dicko hits him well,
Well, I
J-Mac.
reckon-
Dicko's off about 6.
Is
Hey.
it really?
7.5. I've got my annual golf trip coming up, so I'm actually I'm doing a bit of a little Paps power play. I'm putting
Where
in
you
a few
going for
little
that?
low numbers. Gold Coast this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you know what you should do? Go to Queenstown one year. That's a beauty.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
unreal.
Jack's
I'm-
Point.
Jack's Point. I've been there. Oh, it's unreal. I'm thinking about going next year. Me and my mates are already talking about it.
Really?
I'm doing the reverse Waller. I'm trying to get up to this golf trip with the boys. There's 3 or 4 like mates that I just have to beat. You know, I want to be on like 9.5 when I get up there. So I'm working on that.
It's
putting in a few dodgy cards.
how good's Jack's Point? Like hitting those mountains.
Oh, mate.
It's
The
unreal.
best course. Actually, all 4 of them, the Arrowtown's bloody cool as for a little track, and obviously
Queenstown, Millbrook as well.
Yeah, Millbrook. They've just put a new course in down there too.
Did they? Yeah, right.
Well, it might have been a year ago, but no, that's a good spot. I haven't been there for years though. We used to do it. We actually used to do it with Captain. So funny we don't do
Yeah,
it
right.
anymore. Anyway,
That's good. All right.
the
Hey
Captain.
James, thank you very very much for coming on the Early Crow and gracing us with your presence. It's been a really interesting chat, and I wish you the very very best of luck in Hong Kong.
Thanks, brother.
May you keep on dominating wherever you ride ponies, and good luck. Good
Try.
luck with your daughter and your family. That's what's most important, and just keep dominating. Thank you.
Thanks, Paps. Thanks, Dicko.
That was pretty amazing, Tom. Like what an operator at the highest possible level of the sport that we love.
Bloody oath is unreal, wasn't it? Have the best jockey in the land or the world to come on and just have a good laugh as well. He was good, having a laugh, bit of humour here and there, a few jokes, getting into me. It was nice. It was good. That's what we like. That's what we want on the Crow. We don't want to be too serious, which is what we like.
Yeah,
Have a laugh.
Yeah, very impressive human being. Surely he now locks in, confirms his status at number one in the Papley Power Rankings.
Look,
He can't, I sort of have to step in here if you don't do it.
I think he's obviously cemented there now. I think he's like a gravestone. He'll be there. He'll be number one there for forever now. So congrats to J-Mac on the number one power rankings for life.
Well done. Well done to you, James. I know you've had a huge spring, but that just caps it right off. Who do we have number 2 and 3 at the moment?
Now look, it's probably going to come to a bit surprise, or maybe not a surprise, but Zachy Lloyd's been out of form. Look, we all know he's a great rider, but he's been out of form, so he's dropped down a little bit.
Has he dropped out?
He's dropped down to 3.
Oh, he's still in. Okay, just
think,
holds on.
We'll keep it to J-Mac, Nash, and Zachy Lloyd for now. But I can feel I want to keep him in 3rd because I can feel he's slowly increasing. And we talk about this, Dicko. You want to get him when they're down. He's been down a little bit, but we'll get him when he's just coming up now. So I'm going to keep him there as 3rd.
Now, let's talk cricket, and full credit to us. We called this. We saw this coming. The weight of the Indian nation, the billions and billions of people upon their shoulders. It fell. They felt it. And one of the great World Cup finals I've ever watched, and I've watched a heap of them. And I'm paying the price for it tide-wise this week, but it's worth it. What are your overall thoughts on the World Cup and the final and some of the performances?
I reckon it's just sums up sort of Australia in sport. I reckon that when the chips are down, they're 0-2, everyone's writing them off, and then they just claw their way back. And no one this was a moral, really. Everyone was talking about India morals. They'll win this easy, and then for the Aussies to come out and play the bowl the way they did, full credit to the bowlers firstly, and then Pat Cummins' captaincy, the way he just changed the bowl. What was it? He bowled 9 bowlers in 10 overs at one point and got 2 into Travis Head, who went for four off 2 overs, or 4 and over for 2 overs.
He turned the game. He turned the game with Maxwell.
Yeah, like things like that.
You're watching at home going, well, what? Why aren't we bowling Zampa? What are we doing? And then how dare you question the great man from west of Sydney?
Exactly. And then
your man just took one of the great catches of World Cup history, right there with Mark Walsh.
He's clearly my favourite cricketer. Lefty, I like an aggressive bat, left-hander. Looks like he has a really, really good time. Follow him on the socials. Just some really good content on there of him with these really dirty sunnies at 8 a.m. in the morning.
And just the hint, like the tiny hint of a little bit of a beer gut on him too.
Yeah,
which I just love to see.
Yeah, bloody oath. And just the like bit of a dirty like sort of mo beard setup, but like good. It's just real. Yeah, I love him. He's my favourite, and as well as Mitch Marsh.
He screams to you, "I'm not trying to be a professional athlete, or I'm not trying to be the best exerciser in the world. I just make runs and take catches."
Yeah, he's one of the best cricketers in Australia by being him. He hasn't changed. He just beats him and does his own thing. So it's a pleasure to watch, and I'm looking forward to. I reckon what he did was like clearly the best performance, but that catch into the. Can you imagine what were they 3 for 47? I think they were.
I was watching it. It was like watching a Swans grand final, and just like it's just anxiety. It was not enjoyable. and then when the first few wickets fell, you're like, oh fuck my life. I've stayed up for this. This is going to be this is going to be the worst. We're capitulating, and then to top that off, Smudge, who like the safest hands in Australia, he's guided us to Ashes victories. He's just like right over top of it. He's playing it like it's going past his head, then he's hitting it. That's how late he's playing them. Then he like just straight drives Bumrah back past him for 4. You've started to feel a little bit safe. Then he got a slow ball which turned more than like Nathan Lyon's off breaks. Hits him on the pad. He doesn't review it, and I thought it wasn't out. Given straight away, doesn't review, walks off, and you're like, oh my god, we are fucked. And then they do the replay, and it hit him outside the line. Wasn't out. Should have challenged. And you're like, oh god, this is happening. And then Travis
And Marnus.
Cooling a crisis. Marnus did Marnus things. Oh, it's just Australia.
I think it was a perfect scenario for Marnus. But it's like Test cricket because you got Heady at the other end. You don't need to score too long. Marnus just went for his 50, 58 off 110, 50 strike rate, which is perfect for him, and let Heady do his thing at the other end, 137 odd off about 100 odd. So, yeah, absolute one of the best victories. What are we on now? 7 World Cups.
6. That was our 6th World Cup.
6 World Cup.
Captain by a New South Welshman. Runs made by a South Australian. Steered around by a Queenslander. And the winning runs hit by a Victorian. Very, very Australian victory.
I'll tell you what was great. The Stuart Broad, Ben Stokes, what's that other... They're the two cricketers. And the other blokes are all tweeting like how congrats to... They're on the bottom. They got beaten by the Netherlands after the Ashes. And they're like, oh, the Ashes. The Aussies played in the Ashes as well, and we just pants the world. Like,
in England.
Oh,
winners win.
It's just... but anyway. So, full credit to the Aussies. Unbelievable. And looking forward to the... Well, sort of end, because we're not playing that much in the summer, but still be good to watch.
Yeah, we've got Pakistan. Pakistanis. The draft last night, Papalies. The draft. You've got how many newbies joining the club? And when you got, was it rookie drafted or drafted? Did you get the big horse in a big red shirt just showing up to your door at 8 o'clock at night? It would have been a bit intimidating and then extremely exciting for that young man.
Yeah, well, I was actually didn't get drafted. I was a rookie draft, so I was actually on the work site plumbing, you know, man. So...
and that's why we love you. Two tradesmen just doing our best.
No, it was it was good. It was, geez, he's a big boy, that Will Green, isn't he? He's a big horse. So we've got a ruckman, and then another academy kid, Caden Cleary as well. So looking forward to getting stuck into them. Obviously, their dream is to play AFL. It would have been an unbelievable feeling last night for them. It's one of the great feelings knowing that you're going to an AFL club. They're there for 2 years, locked in for 2 years, and can't wait to get into it.
What's the next month look like for those two fellas?
Well, for start, how do I explain the first day? The first day is, I think, it's exciting, but geez, it's daunting. You walk in a door with 40 AFL blokes that are pretty, like, very intimidating sort of people. They're obviously, it's not like you walk into a new local club.
Yourself included.
It can be intimidating. I remember my first day. It was like your first day at school, but on steroids. Just shitting yourself. You're like, geez, these are grown men. I'm just this 18, 19-year-old kid. And his buddy Franklin coming up here. G'day, mate. I'm Lance. Oh, g'day, Lance. So
nice to meet you.
But it's exciting. It's for those boys there, they'll move up here probably in the next couple of days, probably Thursday, get up here, find where they're going to live. Although Caden's from here originally, he's in the academy, so he's probably already got his house sorted where he's living. But for Will, he'll move into one of the boys' houses, the housing program, and start Monday. And that's when the real stuff starts, where he finds out how hard pre-season is. Although the first years do get it pulled back a bit, but it gets tough, but it's all worth it.
What about, is there any type of hazing that goes on these kids?
Look, you probably need you probably take it.
Yeah, okay, Tom doesn't want to talk about this, but that's a yes if you're playing at home.
I reckon the more hazing gets on them when they're about 3 to 4 months in, then you can haze them because they're comfortable enough and you're comfortable enough to haze them, haze them, whatever you want to do. But there's definitely a lot goes on. We have a boat cruise at the end of the 3-week Christmas break, which is always good fun, and you give a little bit here and there, but not too much. But then after Christmas, it's always pretty good.
Make sure you keep me posted if any of them show any type of ability on the ping pong table, all right?
Oh, we probably should touch on Harley Reid as well, the number 1 pick. There's obviously been a lot of hype around him. He's going to West Coast, took Nat Newey's and Ben Cousins, number 9, which he said if he's coming over to West Coast, he wants the number 9, so he got that. But yeah, it'll be... a little bit of
concern, I would have thought, wanting to draft someone that idolises the Cuz dog, but that's like, I'll be the same as him, but I wouldn't want to draft me either, so full credit to Harley.
But no, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to watching him play. He's obviously going to play straight away there, you'd think. And it looks a very, very talented young player.
What about the Saturday just gone? frustrating day for you at Newcastle. A solid day for me at Caulfield. Still quite frustrating with one of the misses. And made more frustrating for me personally by trying to watch our man Royce play cricket and watching the wrong game on YouTube for about 6 hours. I just thought he was having an awful day because I could never seen him and I didn't see any bowling stats at all from our man P. Rad.
Who were you watching again?
I don't know. Just set it up on one of the screens. I just kept looking up and like every now and again, like they'd have like the bowler stats, you know. And I thought, well, if he's as good as what he says he is, like I'm going to see like 3 for 6 or something. I just thought he was having an awful day and it was like none for 40, so they weren't sort of featuring him. But
that's goal.
Yeah, I missed him. But I did catch that highlight, which I put into. We could put on our socials, or we could put in the Dicko's Mailbag Discord at least. I think without the body language was atrocious.
Oh, wasn't it? What about grabs the hat off the hat
yeah.
and really fists the head of it off?
Yeah, like the guy's just trying to do his job, Royce. Show him a little bit of respect. I thought. Have you got anything to say for yourself, young man?
You're telling me to let people do their job, eh? Is that what I'm taking out of this? Because if so, we are off the rails here. It was just a lazy 4 for 40 on the weekend and got the job done. So sometimes you can act like that, you know.
If you, obviously not a lot of you would have seen Praddy, but he runs a bald setup with a big red beard and a nice little gut on him, and he strolls in left arm mediums and struts back like he's.
Hang on! I think everything we've said that would have offended him was the left arm medium part, Praddy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can take the beard.
I'll tell you a story. Walking pal.
Beard's brown, blonde hair. I'll take red. I'll take the pot gut, no dramas. Left arm medium. That's the one that's dug the decker in.
That's what I thought it was. Left arm medium. That's what I was seeing.
Yeah, fair. The boys want to face me in the nets, which is going to be fun. Hopefully, maybe you can get your mate Pat Cummins down or something like that, Tom, now that he's not doing too much after the World Cup, and have a bit of a laugh. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm not even going to wear a helmet.
Or pads.
So, yeah, last weekend was good on the punt. Was okay on the punt. This week, the week ahead on the horse front, we go to Cranbourne for the Cranbourne Cup, Valley Friday night in Melbourne. There'll be content across our socials for the Cranbourne meeting, Eyes on Ponies, where we are doing a phenomenal job for you. So make sure you like and subscribe and follow us Twitter, Instagram, the Early Crow. Find it. We're winning. We've also got the Big Gong meeting in Sydney this weekend, Tom. So you go from Newcastle to Wollongong, Kembla Grange. It's
to where?
Setup.
Where do you think we're going?
You're racing at Kembla Grange, aren't you?
Yeah. I thought is that Wollongong? Is it?
Fuck me! It's about 4 minutes from Wollongong.
Oh, fuck! I don't know anything outside.
If anyone needed any evidence that the boy doesn't leave eastern suburbs too often, there it is.
Yeah, I only know suburbs outside of eastern suburbs unless they're a racetrack, and Wollongong is not one. It's Kembla Grange.
Well, Kembla is very close to Wollongong. Right. So, like, if you lived in Wollongong and you want to go to the races, you go to Kembla. It's like,
yeah, nice.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dicko, when you get the chopper to the middle of the track, it doesn't matter where it is, mate. That's all.
Yeah, Mailbag Bloodstock will likely have. We're undecided. We're going to run Keats and Just Folk this weekend. Could run them in the Cranbourne Cup. Could run one of them in the Gong $1 million race at Kembla, just outside Wollongong, Tom. And could also run Keats in the Kilmore Cup on Sunday. So fair bit going on the weekend. Make sure you tune in, and we'll get our staking plan out on a Saturday. And we'll also continue with our fucking NFL picks on a Sunday. Although what happened last week was some of the more gutless behaviour. I've lost a lot of respect for my man Juz. I mean, just trying to nip that. He was trying to nip 2.5 points and ended up just taking a half point that didn't exist, and they ended up winning by half a point. Him and Punts, like when they're downhill skiing like they are and still skimming points off me, I think it's a low act.
It's been good. It's actually got me into the NFL. It's been really, really good fun. But I think I've still got a game to play. Do I, Praddy?
We're playing right now. Chiefs versus Eagles. You versus me. I just basically faded you. So
let's go.
I'm 1-1 this weekend. I really, really need this to just sort of have some semblance of hope for this season, but it's not looking good.
We might in a couple of weeks we might get the golf back going as well. Maybe when the Oz Open starts, we might put some Oz Open tips out there for the golf as well. So keep your eyes peeled for them. We obviously, because we do the show on Tuesdays now, they'll only be up on the socials, the golf tips. So keep your eyes peeled.
All right, I reckon that's about us. We must thank our sponsors, Tom.
Custom ORTC and Doozy, of course, one of the great seltzers going around.
That's been the Early Crow episode. We don't know. James McDonald, special guest. Outstanding, man. Great content. I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as we did. Make sure you like and subscribe and get around us on the socials. I hope you have an outstanding weekend. Bye for now.
Bye for now.